You identified some companies very, very early on, companies like Bajaj Finance, Aisha Motors as well. So what were some of those themes that you identified very early on? I know you have your meets framework. We can talk about that specifically, but what were some of those elements that stood out to you back in the day?
See, what happens typically is that the whole focus from our side has been backing entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
It does not mean that the company itself is, formed or created by an entrepreneur. It might be from a large industry house, but it is run with an entrepreneurship mindset with, professional CEOs and all. And I think one thing which we have seen is that what does it take for a company to really become large or from an investor to really make a lot of money? You should have the size of opportunity on the external side. You should have that passion and the zeal and the vision to make good of that opportunity which exists. And obviously, it's all ultimately passion and honesty which counts. I think we have been fortunate, entrepreneurs have been fortunate that this country and the investor base has been more than forthcoming in giving all the capital which a good company needs for its growth. And some of the names which you mentioned, they have also used that to grow pretty rapidly. I think one thing which we used to do earlier in our life when I was managing mutual funds at Reliance, look at companies whose market cap at some point of time, that would be the net profit of the company. And I think some of these names which you mentioned have surpassed that barometer, and that's why they have been what they are. So I think consistency, passion, size of opportunity, all that combines, and obviously then you need a lot of luck.
Yeah.
And I would say I have been blessed with good luck over the last few decades. Yeah.
And speaking of luck, I read somewhere in one of your interviews, you mentioned that Madhu Kela hired you in a 5 or 10-minute interview. And you guys, you have famously said that you hunted in a pair and, you had a very good contrarian thinking mindset, both of you combined, and were able to hunt out really big winners, right? So talk about that working relationship with Madhu Kela and also how you went about, what was the framework that you developed to be able to go after that contrarian mindset, which wasn't in flavor at that time?
So, every human is blessed with some different characteristics, some of which are positive and some of which might not be that positive. And I think it is good that, you work with people who have slightly different characteristics and positives. Because if people think alike and they work alike, then you don't need 2 or 3 or 5 people, it's the same thing. And I think to that extent, we were blessed. Obviously, Madhu is a great guy, very passionate, very energetic, brings in a lot of, I would say, energy into everything we do. Very good person with relationship capability, very good in terms of trend, thinking and trend sort of forecasting, very good in street smartness.
Yeah.
And I would say I'm more a very traditional investor with focus on fundamentals, balance sheets, and so on and so forth. I think over a period of time, the way I would say a team develops is understanding, the positiveness, as I said, of each other and working on those trends rather than pointing out what those negatives are. And I think that has been the reason. The other thing is, I think when we joined Reliance, we were 35th out of 35 mutual funds, so small, so irrelevant. No one used to even call us. Brokers used to ignore us. No analyst used to cover us. And we were on a mission to prove something. And I think that zeal and passion also helped, So there was no morning, evening, night. I think if there was an opportunity, we were there, up there, and thought differently. We backed entrepreneurs of even smaller companies when no one was willing to touch them. And as I said, I think ultimately you have to take a call. And some of the calls worked. Obviously, there's a lot of work which went into it. But as I said, we were blessed also with good luck.
Yeah, can you give us some examples? What were some of your fondest memories of investments from?
And I think it's still going on, we're still very close and still talk. And, we have, I am blessed with good colleagues from Reliance days, even here. Most of them are in touch. And I think we continue to be, I would say the same as we were working together And memories are so many, it would be not
Some of the
one.
ones that top of mind
No, I
today.
think we have gone to visit factories at midnight also. We have basically reached out to promoters who have been so difficult to reach out by very, very different means. I think ultimately it is about understanding what the company has and what the company can do.
Yeah.
And then, then the entrepreneur or the promoter or the management becomes very important, because that is where you have to assess that the size of opportunity is so huge, whether this guy will be in a position to deliver it. And many times when the street is completely negative, that is when the most of the opportunities come in. And if you actually see, very recently, COVID was like a godsend opportunity. Whoever was positive at that point of time was able to, make 10, 20x of what they invested. So I think there you have to have that mindset. So Shrishti, if you are an equity investor, you have to believe that tomorrow is going to be better than today. If you don't believe that, don't be an equity investor. So equity investor has to be positive that the times to come are going to be better than what we are living today and what went by.
Yeah.
And I think if you have that mindset, then you will always be positive and you will be on the lookout for your next opportunity, rather than worrying about whether it's going to be a 5% correction, 10% correction. Even now people talk about tariffs and this and that. I think so many events have happened even in the first 6 months, but ultimately markets are positive.
Yeah.
So if you just remove the noise and just focus on what you know best, which is analyzing the promoter, analyzing the company, and at the same time being optimistic that this 4 trillion is ultimately going to be 8, 10, 20, whatever the economists are projecting, then I think life becomes easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And